All right, welcome back, motherfuckers. A day late. You know, sometimes I care, sometimes I don't. This is not one of those times, motherfucker. I'll tell you why in a second. This is in the HOT PASS Podcast. We're back on YouTube. It's going to be up Tuesday morning, as long as all the processing goes really well. If not, it'll be Tuesday night. HOT PASS Podcast on YouTube. Go over there, subscribe, share the podcast. Notification bell on. Go to the HOT PASS Podcast, wherever you get your audio podcast, Spotify, Apple, wherever. And make sure to leave us a rate over there, 5 stars always. Because we got a lot to get into today with Harrison Burton and Lane Riggs popping out his fucking shoulder winning. It was a chaotic weekend. Who won in fucking Xfinity? The most boring interview ever from Ryan Truex, and you wonder why the man doesn't get sponsors. And so go to @FurlongEric_ on all social media platforms, TikTok, X / Twitter, and Instagram @FurlongEric_. Let's dive right in. So the reason why I didn't really care too much about not getting it done on time this week is not because I don't like you guys. It's because the girl I'm seeing is, it's her last week here. It was our last Sunday together. She's moving back to Ireland for a year to go to school. So we're spending as much time as possible together. Let me just pop that down. I'm just messing with the camera and everything. So it might be a little off kilter now. Let me double check. Just one sec, boys and girls. Oh, yeah, we're good. All right. Yeah, it wasn't, the frame wasn't open all the way. So there we go. Yeah, so she's moving back, and it's a little sad boy things, but gotta do what you gotta do, and you gotta spend as much time together as possible while she's here. So she sat down and watched pretty much all the races other than the truck race because she had enough of watching the races. And it was a good solid weekend. She got everything in that Saturday race for her first race, watching a full thing. I mean, absolute chaos and calamity is what I always say. And then dead last in points all the way to first. At least first in the race. I'm feeling for you Kyle Busch fans. So let's dive right in with everything that happened on the weekend for me. I'm just hanging out with the lassie and just having a good time and working and getting prepared to go to Fort Wayne, Indiana this coming weekend to continue my back tattoo. If you guys haven't seen that, go over to my Instagram @FurlongEric_. If you keep scrolling down, I think at some point, I think it would be like December of 2023 is when I posted the photo. It's of I have a big alien back piece. And I go down to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And if it's any new listeners, you guys know that I'm Canadian. So I got to drive about 5 hours or so, 5.5 hours down to Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm going down by myself. Got to book an Airbnb tonight at the night I'm recording this to be able to have a nice place. And I actually found a half decent place. It's about a minute drive from the shop. So if anything, it's a 10-minute walk. So if anything, I'll just walk over on the Saturday. So I'm going to drive down Friday night. What's the schedule for NASCAR this week? I think it's just all Saturday, Sunday, right? So you got the Xfinity race. So I might pop that on while I'm getting tattooed just to, unless it's a night race. I'm pretty sure it's afternoon. But yeah, so the plan is to be able to watch the race at the end of getting tattooed or during getting tattooed. The Diamond Hill Plywood 200. So that's Saturday, August 31st at 3:30 p.m. So I'll be watching that while I'm getting tattooed. So shouts out to that, helping me be able to get through the weekend. So luckily, in time for you guys, I'll be able to have the Friday morning betting show out. And then if anything, it'll be out late Friday night or early Saturday morning. Since I'll be staying in an Airbnb, I'll be by myself. I'll have plenty of time to be able to edit once I get down there. And just have something to do to pass the time. Since there's no UFC and no NASCAR Friday night, it's a little quiet. So I'll be able to pump that out for you guys. And I'm still getting the Michigan recap video or whatever out later this week as well. I've been slacking on the YouTube, but I want you guys to see what my face looked like, the Cocoa Puffs jacket and all sorts of things. So that's the plan for this weekend. Is I'll probably be sitting for I think the last time when I was there and I did all the outline, probably like 6 or 7 hours. I'm not sure. I know he's got to touch up probably a couple of lines, which is going to suck. If you guys don't have any tattoos, holy shit. The worst part, definitely with American traditional. If you guys don't know rounds and like mags, like a 14 rounds, like 14 needles, right? And it's, I don't know necessarily what my buddy Joel, it's like at Joel Jancic. If you guys go to my social media, go into my, who I follow, just type in Joel, you'll see him on there. Little Polish fella. And he does a lot of tattoo. I just found out today he also tattooed Tyler Childers, which is fucking sick during COVID. Tattooed his back. So that was pretty fucking sick. I'll have to bring that up to him. Trying to also get him into NASCAR, but he's a pretty quiet guy. He just likes to paint and tattoo, which is great. Fantastic. Better for me. Better work for me on my back. But what was it talking about? But yeah, anyways. The thick outlines on American Traditional is like hell. It's like getting butchered. So once that's out of the way, really, like the black and the color is pretty easy. It's like a rhythm, right? If you've never been tattooed before, just the if you use like an old rotary, it's just and he's just brushing on your back, right? He's just scratching on your back, but he's if you get enough tattoos, eventually you get used to it. Definitely, if they're not bouncing around back to a spot that's already been tattooed, like a couple hours. If you're in a big session, if they have to go back over something, obviously that really hurts. But I mean, a couple lines in or whatever, like a couple minutes of shading into a spot, kind of goes red and numb, and you don't even feel it anymore. So I've been through the ringer at this point. I've got like, I think at least 50 tattoos, and now I'm working on my back. So, at least the Xfinity race will be on to be able to get us through it. Maybe we'll pop it up on a TV, or, I can get a little stand. Maybe Joel will set up a little stand for me so I can try and just pass the time by watching the race. So we'll do that. I'll probably be tweeting while I'm getting tattooed and everything for you guys. So then Sunday, I'll probably be driving back. I think Sunday is a night race, right? 6 p.m. So I'll be home by then. Just for you guys to know, I do have to bet. If you guys didn't hear the Michigan episode, go listen to that, because a lot of chaotic stories and how it cut my face, and then our buddy got an IV in his arm. But yeah, so I once I leave the country, I can't bet. So I will, as soon as I place all my bets Thursday or Friday for the Xfinity race, they're locked in. I can't do anything about practice and qualifying. I'll also be getting tattooed probably during practice and qualifying Saturday morning. So there's nothing really I can do about that. Unfortunately, the most shitty part about that is I'm kind of locked in. I have friends that live in Canada, but I'm not sending them money. I trust everybody, but like I'm not sending them hundreds of dollars or whatever it is, $50 here or whatever, to place bets for me. It's like I kind of just have to go off history, how I'm feeling, and usually when I'm gone, there's not much I can do. So I kind of just go light when I'm out of the country. So Sunday though, if you guys go to my Action Network, link is in the bio of everything. Go check out the Cup Series bets. I'm going to place a couple before I go, and then I'm going to try and leave early enough Sunday morning that it's about the 5.5 hour drive. So hopefully I get back in time and no troubles at the border, knock on wood, that I get home in time so I can place a couple of extra bets on, somebody like a Truex or a Denny or whoever's looking good in practice and qualifying. I'm going to tell you right now, a must bet is probably Tyler Reddick. He's on a heater right now. And Bubba Wallace for like top fives and stuff, because he has to have a really good day. But yeah, so it's going to be a very busy weekend this weekend for me. So follow me on my Twitter and Instagram and everything like that at @FurlongEric_ to be able to see what the hell's going on. I'll take photos and post lots of social media stuff while I'm down in the States. So let's get into the weekend. I mean, the Xfinity race is gonna Xfinity. It does great things. I love it. Everybody was on Jeffrey Earnhardt. He ends up crashing out. I really feel bad for Anthony Alfredo. Anthony Alfredo having a great run and just getting absolutely fucking cooked by. I understand he was probably. It was really unfortunate. He had a tire going down, I think he said, and then Jeffrey Earnhardt had nowhere to go. I'm not going to harp on Jeffrey Earnhardt other than like, man, we all go off the last name, and he had one performance at Talladega, and I said it in the Friday morning betting show, do not touch the guy. And what happens? Crashes out. Causes a big wreck, to be honest. It was a mix of him and Anthony Alfredo, but I'm not a Jeffrey Earnhardt hater. It's just like you got to start proving us something, and it's driving like that and wrecking a whole field. That ain't gonna get you another ride for a long time. So, So Sam Mayer going up and down, up and down, up and down. Like I didn't want to take Sam, and then I saw I think it was like NASCAR Money or NASCAR DGen on social media put a bunch of money down, and I went, all right, fine. And he because he was starting in the back of the field, he was 28-1. You have to take a guy like Sam Mayer at 28-1. To be honest, the junior motorsports guys I would fade at all costs when it comes to super speedways. Just because it always seems they get caught up with each other, or they just get caught up in shit all the time. They're not really the best super speedway drivers. I truly think it was AJ Allmendinger, Parker Kligerman. Now, if you guys follow me on my social media platforms, I went off on Parker Kligerman. I mean, man, you guys are out front all day, both of you, drafting with each other, doing a great job. What did we do? Like, I think they ended up what? They went to overtime or whatever it was. I'm pretty sure whatever it was. They're coming to the white. They come to the white flag. They're going into turn one, and Kligerman just ditches AJ. Now, in this moment, after the fact, after the race, and Ryan Truex gives his boring post-interview win race, or race win fucking interview. I'm having a stroke. Don't mind me. He totally dumps AJ, and like throws him in the trash. He goes, he's watching the replay. He goes, yeah. And then AJ just comes down and gets into me. I go, no, dude. You and AJ were drafting all fucking day together. All day. Working great. You continuously wonder why you do not get wins. And it's because you're not a fucking team player. In a moment like that, where you've been penalized earlier on in the week, and you have to basically win to be able to get in the playoffs at this point. No, well, maybe not. I think he was above the cut line. Let's see if I can try and find the playoffs. I just don't want to be making up a bunch of shit. Let's go see. Playoff picture. So he's plus 44. But I mean, Sammy Smith, Brandon Jones has to win. But Sammy Smith could kick him out. Ryan Sieg plus 15. In a moment like this where you haven't gotten a win yet, and it would be smart to be able to just make that move coming off of turn 4, you think you would. But instead, you blame AJ Allmendinger. You ditch him in turn 1. What do you think was going to happen the rest of that if they ended up going all the way around? AJ Allmendinger was going to stay in his lane. He was going to get pushed. And AJ's a better driver than you. He's won races. He has experience. Instead, you ditch him going to turn 1, where you should have done it on turn 4. And AJ thought you were going to go with him. Or like you were going to let him go with you. And instead, you gas it up, you drive down, and AJ is assuming that you're good to go. And his spotter, I'm sure, went, oh, he's going down. Let's leave Truex out to dust and fucking let's go together. No, you gas it up, and you fucking end up being right there on his bumper. And AJ's like, what the fuck? Man, I feel like in a moment like that for AJ Allmendinger, he must be going, why did I trust that fucking idiot? Why did I trust him? AJ Allmendinger is a great driver, but Parker Kligerman has dumped Sage Karam in the last lap at COTA earlier on in the year, and maybe I remember that, and I hold a little bit of a grudge because I had money on Sage Karam to get a top 5, but dumps him on purpose, and they can't accept that. He blames it on everybody else. Maybe Parker's turning into the new Austin Hill, maybe, where he thinks he does nothing wrong ever. My parents always told me to own up to what I've done wrong. And I think you need to start doing that, Mr. Parker Kligerman. And then he also dumps, Sheldon Creed at the Chicago Road Course. I mean, you continuously keep dumping people. And I feel like Parker Kligerman needs a smack in the mouth. I hate hearing him on Sundays. I hate everything about him. You got to turn your shit around, man. And maybe once you start accepting your wrongdoings, you'll end up finally getting in victory lane. Next time, Parker, I don't drive, guys. I don't drive. I mean, I drive in my car, but I'm not driving on Friday, Saturdays, or Sundays. I've never driven competitive. So I'm talking out my ass here. But it just seems, guys, just take notes here. Maybe I'm wrong. But wouldn't it be smart to make that move coming off of turn 4? Ditch him then. You got some momentum. You can carry on the straightaway. Something on the front stretch. Something. Better than going, we're going one to go, and then immediately ditch the guy. Who did you have behind you? I'm not watching the replay right now, but I'm assuming you don't have somebody that's gonna push you probably as good as AJ Allmendinger or, I would just think ditch AJ in the front stretch. Go around him. He's looking for a little bit momentum, a little bit more of a push. See you later. You're getting the momentum from behind from the whole pack. And there you go. You're passing Ryan Truex. Now, let's get into Ryan Truex. I understand that I think he should have a full-time ride next year with a Joe Gibbs. But he is worse than Martin Truex. Martin Truex gives, at least a little bit of emotion. And I like Martin Truex, so this is not me hating. But kind of like he's a quiet guy. I mean, it seems like the Truex guys are very quiet. They're not very good in the media. They just, they're not very talkative guys. They like to be, to themselves, right? But Truex, anybody else notice this? Ryan Truex, have a little bit of emotion in your voice after winning at Daytona. He just does, it was a good time to win here, and I'm just trying to figure out stuff for next year, and no plans really yet. And yeah, it was really exciting to win. I had a lot of fun, and it's nice to win races, man. And I got a second win this year and 8 races, and it's pretty good, man. I'm really happy to win. Has he killed somebody? Has he killed somebody? Has he lost his emotion because he fucking murdered somebody? What did he do to lose any sort of pitch in his voice? Martin Truex at least gives you a little something. But then, and Ryan, you have the looks, you got the fucking hair, baby. Slick it back, fucking fill it around a little bit. Come out, rip the helmet off, and wiggle it around in the air, in the wind. Have a little something. He didn't even really get out and cheer. I wanted to see you cheer like fucking Harrison Burton or Lane Riggs. Lane Riggs is popping out his shoulder on a Sunday after winning his first fucking race. Out of the 3, by far, bar none, the worst. Thank God that was the first one. Imagine if Truex got out and Lane Riggs got out on Sunday after a great race, winning his first race, and just went, yeah, it was, I really enjoyed winning my first race, and it was a good time. And I kicked their butts, and he wouldn't even say that. He would just go, and there's plans, but no plans, and I got plans, and I like to race, and that's it. It's boring as shit. It's like talking to a rock or talking to a wall. Anywho, let's move on from boring ass Ryan Truex and Parker Kligerman, and shouts out to AJ Allmendinger for having a great ride. I would still bet on you. Sheldon Creed, still fucking dead to me. Will I bet on him at Watkins Glen while I'm there? Sure, why not? Top 5, top 3, you got my money. But we're going to be all over SVG, baby. Let's go. Okay. Let's dive into the Saturday race. The shit that everybody came here to hear. Everybody's beaten to death. From dead last to in points to first in our hearts and in the playoffs. The call from Lee Diffie, shouts out to Lee, I think it's Lee Diffie, from coming over from IndyCar. I don't know what happened to best part is I don't even know his name. The other guy that was doing the commentary, the main commentary or whatever for the races. Anyways, don't give a fuck. Super irrelevant. I don't know what happened to him. But Lee Diffie did a great call at the end. And Jeff Burton being happy as hell, getting that camera shot. That was beautiful. That whole ending to that race, the call and everything, and the emotions they were showing from Jeff and his son, that whole broadcast was way better than anything Fox did earlier on in the year. Hands out. Way to go, NBC. Way to go, Jeff. Way to go, Lee Diffie. Shouts out to the boys. Steve Letarte, shouts out. Crazy race. Josh Berry flipping upside down, absolutely getting the smack on. A guy just walks out of the infield care center, does interviews like it was so nonchalant, brother. So nonchalant. Oh, well, and I was actually shocked to see him just hanging out, talking. No brain injuries, nothing. So shout out to that car and NASCAR for fucking putting in the safety implications. But a lot of bets were doing all right. I live bet SVG at 150-1. His engine blows up. That's fantastic. Alex Bowman gets his ass clipped by the whole wreck with Michael McDowell. That's fucking fantastic. And Carson Hocevar. Also had, by the way, for the Xfinity race, I had Jordan Anderson 6-1 for a top 5. He finishes 6th. And we had Carson Hocevar for a top 10. He finishes 11th at plus 700. So that's great. So we go negative on those, but we did hit Michael McDowell. I gave that out on the fucking Friday morning betting show. Michael McDowell to win the poll at 28-1. Shouts out to your boy. Bags $50 into $1,400. Shouts out. You're welcome. Listen to the Friday morning betting show. That's how we fucking do it, baby. Because then we also hit 3.6 something units or whatever on the truck series. So after all that, after the whole weekend, I think we're like over 4 or 5 units or something like that. So that's good. So we're killing it. Anyways, let's back into the race all over the place. I had to do this real quick because I got to get going. Bubba Wallace, the whole race was great. Second stage was absolute chaos. It was crazy. Now Bubba Wallace and Ross Chastain are in must-win mode, so shouts out to the boys. Bet them out, right? Because they're going for the W. They're going to do whatever they can to be able to win. They're going to get stage points. They're going to do whatever they can to be able to make up that ground because let me pull this up. I'm really sad as a Bubba fan. God. Bubba minus 21, Ross minus 27. Obviously, Kyle Busch and everybody else below that's in a must-win situation. I can't see them winning. Kyle's on a really good streak right now. To be honest, I'd probably be betting him a top 10 because he's going to be doing whatever he can to do to win. And he's been okay at Darlington. Ross has been pretty good, and Bubba Wallace has been very good as well. So, they've got to do whatever they can to be able to win. Unless like a guy like Chris Buescher has a bad day or Ty Gibbs like early on, they're pretty much in must-win situation here. And unfortunately, Chris Buescher was running really well in the spring. Chris Buescher's teammate Brad Keselowski won. We hit that early on in the week there too when Brad Keselowski won. I can't it sucks, man. Truex has done really well there in the past. I'm pretty sure Ty Gibbs has been kind of okay. It's just a lot of situations. I don't like the playoff picture, guys. I don't like how the playoffs work. I don't think Harrison Burton should be in the playoffs. But in this situation right now, Austin Dillon could have been in and Harrison Burton. Think about that. Ty Gibbs and Chris Buescher would be out of the playoffs right now. Think about that. That should not happen. After this season, they have to change this. Maybe I'm a little biased because my two favorite drivers, Bubba and Ross, are looking out of the playoffs right now. It's not a good time. But, that could have been crazy, dude. Even Austin Cindric, but at least he would have been top 30 in points. But I don't have much to say, man, other than, it looks like I'm a Reddick fan for the playoffs, babe. Is he peaking a little early? Maybe. But he's been hot all through the summer. Just don't cool off like Denny Hamlin and the shit that Denny Hamlin went through. I haven't listened to his podcast yet, but I'm going to listen to it heading over to the ladies' place in a little bit. But, I'm not really happy with the playoff picture. There's been a lot of opportunities for Ross and more for Bubba. this year to be able to get a win, as well as Kyle Busch. And they're in a situation where, shit happens and you cannot be lagging behind all year and then come down to, a Daytona race or Darlington. Definitely with the Southern 500 on the line. That's a hard race to win. Anybody could win it, really. I feel like anybody in the top 20 from Chase Briscoe up, maybe not Briscoe, but at least Kyle Busch up could win the race. You're really hoping that somebody that's already won a race is going to win. But like if Chris Buescher wins, he's like, they're really screwed. Like that means it's over. It's over. Anybody from like Chris Buescher down past Bubba and Ross it's I don't know, man. I don't really have much to say other than I feel for Bubba, but man, you really got to stop being so hard on yourself, man. There's been a lot of opportunities where there's been a lot of times where it hasn't been your fault. The car was really shitty at one point during what was the time? Like Loudon, God, what's it called? Thinking of the race, Concrete. God, dang it. Trying to think. Let me pull it up. Wait a second, guys. There was a span of a couple of races, and then he got wrecked out as well early on in some of these races, and you're sitting there like, some of them were not his fault. But it obviously comes down to hurt you in the end of the... I'm burping and shit. At the end of the year, right? Dover. That's it. It was like when Reddick kind of had a bit of a poopy car too, and he kind of gets up into Steve Bell as well, or William Byron, and then gets into Bubba in the U.S. Air Force beautiful fucking gray car or whatever, and then like it's just simple races like that. You cannot have performances like that. I don't know what to say other than, as a Bubba fan, I hate that he talks about himself like that, puts himself down. It's a whole team aspect, and they were letting him down early on in the year as well. So, it's a team sport. I do think that he should be winning races. Last year, even in Texas in the playoffs, Kansas last year and this year should have been winning those races. Michigan 2 weeks ago should have won that race as well, but Kyle Larson's an asshole. So like there's little things that it's like there's nothing you can do. Just having a bad 2 week stretch, kind of hurts you a little bit. But he still finished good at the Daytona race. It's just a matter of Harrison Burton won. But at the same time, it was him or Kyle Busch. So, it'll be interesting to see what Kyle Busch does in that team. I'm actually going to look up his stats real quick on Racing Reference here. I just want to see how he is at Darlington. I really don't think it's going to be that good, but it's going to be a long shot. He's going to get bet down. During the race, Kyle Busch was like 2 or 3 to 1 to win a fucking super speedway race. He was right there. He was right there, babe. He's got... Where's the last good finish? Oh, boy. So, 2023 spring race, he was 7th. And then 2023 summer race last year started 11th, finished 11th. So, not like bad, but they got to bring a hell of a car. I'm sure they've been focusing on this race for probably a while. He did say that they were running pretty well until they weren't in the spring race. He ended up finishing 27th, but he started 11th. So, guys, I'm not going to say he's going to win the pole. I would probably say wait. If you can kind of get a over 20 to 1, I would be asking for like a 30 to 1 to be betting on him. But we already know that ain't going to happen because he's in a must-win situation. So when the lines open up, he's going to be bet down real quick. If you can find a 25 to 30 to 1, I would be betting on Kyle Busch. He might qualify just outside the top 10 like he has in the last 3 races. But before that, he's ran really well. Obviously, Joe Gibbs is really good. The Gibbs crew is really good at Darlington. So he had really good finishes. He did have a stretch at Darlington in the 18 car in the last 3 years of 35th, 33rd, and 30th. So that's obviously not good. But before that, he was 2nd, 7th, 3rd. This is obviously in the previous car. And then like he had a stretch of 7th from 2010. So 7th, 11th, 4th, 6th, 6th, 7th, 11th, 2nd, 7th, 3rd. He was good. So if they can try and get a whole good ass car and put all their marbles in, I think he could be top 5. But you got guys like Denny that are really good there. Reddick's been really hot. Larson won there last year at the Southern 500. Brad Kay's been good. Chris Buescher, Bubba. Like, I really do think Bubba can win. Like, let me look up Bubba's resume there. I don't want to go too far off Kyle, but Kyle's got a hell of a... if I were you guys this weekend, I'd be betting on those two guys. Ross has shown a bit of speed, but he's very aggressive. And, I mean, he's going to do whatever he's got to do to win. That's one thing about betting on Ross Chastain in a moment like this. But I haven't seen the speed this year that thinking that they're going to be competitive. I think it could be a top 10 car. But, yeah, man, Bubba's last, 4 starts here. He's from 2022 to current, 9th, 5th, 7th, and 7th. So he's had good cars. I mean, Tyler Reddick has been right there to win too. And, he's going to have the car of his life. If I'm Denny, give whatever Tyler Reddick's got. I'm staying off Tyler Reddick this weekend. Give whatever Tyler Reddick's got and put it into Bubba's car. That's what I'm doing. So, this is the end of the podcast. Oh, no, I was going to talk about trucks quick, and then I got to go. But if I'm going to give you guys early picks for Cup, I'll hold off on Xfinity for Friday, baby. But for Cup, it's Bubba Wallace top 5. You can get a Bubba Wallace top 10. I'm doing the whole ladder, baby. I'll die on this hill. I'll die on this hill because this is the final race of the regular season. I will die on that hill of Bubba top 10, Bubba top 5. And then Bubba to win top 3 is just a really short number. But if you can get him like +2 or +300 for a top 5, I'll take that. If he's +250, +275, I'll still dabble on it. But +300 for a top 5 for a guy that's finished 9th, 5th, 7th, and 7th in the last 4 starts there, I'll take it. And he's qualified pretty well other than the Southern 500 last year. He started 19th. But other than that, he was 8th, 2nd, and 8th. So he's going to be there. He's been qualifying really well. So I would be putting my chips in on Bubba. Take a Kyle Busch top 10. And I'm going to hold off on what else I got for you guys for Friday. So going to the truck race real quick. I think that was our best. That was our best. Other than Michael McDowell 28-1. That was our best weekend right there. Now, I gave out Grant Enfinger. I mean, how do you go from winning the race last year, starting on the pole? Obviously, different car. But like coming out in practice and just nothing. Way off the pace. Then he qualifies 12th, and I'm like, that seems like a Grant Enfinger qualifying. On average is usually either he's up top 5 or he'll sit around there and it's whatever. I feel like he can drive him through the field, but he was irrelevant. Outside the top 10 all day, just had nothing. And we were heavy on him. We weren't as heavy on him super early on. This is why I always say kind of try and wait till practice and qualifying, definitely for trucks, to see how the guys perform. We would have been able to profit a lot more, but we profited nonetheless at like 3.6 or 3.7 units in the truck series this past Sunday, which is fun to say. I'm not going to lie. I like little trucks on a Sunday afternoon. It's fun. But we hit Taylor Gray. Unfortunately, guys, I was busy. And I wasn't really on social media, and I didn't get the truck card out for you guys. But I did hit Taylor Gray. This is why you still have to listen to the HOT PASS podcast. Okay? Follow me on social media. It's rare that I'm not on there posting my card early enough. I did post my Xfinity card super, super late as well. I was really busy driving around, doing stuff, helping out some family members with moving some stuff back into their house after renos. So I didn't really get that up until like probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes before the race. So that's my bad. Okay, my bad. And but for the truck race, I really feel the worst about because we did make money off that race. So that will not happen again. I swear to God. But we hit Taylor Gray plus 600 for a top 5. That's unbelievable. We hit Nick Sanchez plus 275 for a top 5. And that was one where I didn't see a lot of people on Nick. I watched before the race happened, before I was placing my last minute bets. I saw Nick was running top 5 all day. And I was like, Nick needs a good time here. He's been having a bad couple of weeks, had engine problems and so on and so forth. And I saw how he was running here last year. And I thought that he had a great run. He stage 1, stage 2, top 5. And then he gets spun out when they go down. Everybody goes down to pit. And then Corey Heim, he checks up for Haley Deegan. Shocker. And Corey Heim gets into his rear and spins him around and just fucks his whole day for all stage 3. So I was like, well, I feel like he's going to be able to get something done here. So let's bet on plus 275. Before we were getting like Nick Sanchez like weeks ago at like plus 150, plus 100 because he was doing so well at the beginning of the year. He's very consistent. Plus 275, I'll take it. I mean, Tay Gray, like the numbers they're giving us for Tay Gray as well is just disrespectful. And I don't think we're going to see that again. I want to see what the schedule is for the Truck Series, and then we'll wrap up here. But I just think that the number of 6-1 for a top 5 for Taylor Gray is crazy talk. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? I understand the man's been like okay at short tracks, but like the last 2 weeks, he's really the last 2 races, he's really turned it around. So let's go to the Truck Series here. Schedule, whoa, bitches. Truck Series. All right, so we got Bristol, September 19th. I hate this time of year for trucks. It's like once a month and then once every 2 weeks or every week. So September 19th on the Thursday, they're at Bristol. Friday, the September 27th, the next week after, they're at Kansas. Oh, I'm so excited to bet on Taylor Gray to win. Taylor Gray top 5. Excited for that, baby. Oh, my God. And then welcome back to Corey Heim. Corey Heim's been okay there, as well as Christian Eckes has been good there as well. But Corey Heim, betting on that. Fuck Ty Majeski. Shouts out to the boys. Little Raja Karuth action in there because I think that's where he's going to really have to turn it up. And then they have they have them Martinsville, November 1st, which is, oh no. Okay, so they have Talladega, I forgot. Talladega, October 4th, October 26th, Homestead. Then they have Martinsville, November 1st, which I'm hoping I'm going to be at that race. If you guys are going to be there, let me know. And then Phoenix, November 8th. So I hate the end of this schedule here. It's just really, 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 really annoying. But we have some good races coming up. A Bristol truck race. And then Kansas is one of my favorite tracks in general. So to be able to have the Truck Series there, making money, baby, on that race. Some of my best races, knock on wood, is 1.5-mile truck races is where we make our most money. All right. So shouts out to Lane Rakes for popping out your shoulder, then popping it back in. That was fucking hilarious where they're like, are you good? You're good. And then they all cheer. Getting his first win, that was unbelievable. And that's been the Hot Pass Podcast. Friday morning betting shows every Friday, 5 a.m. Eastern. And then the Monday recap show, always, for the most part, my bad, 5 a.m. Monday Eastern. Okay? And follow me at @FurlongEric_ to be able to get all whatever live bets and my reaction to anything that's going on in the NASCAR world or just in general, whether it's fucking crazy politics shit or whatever, hockey, whatever the hell's going on in my daily life. So at @FurlongEric_ on X, TikTok, and Instagram. And remember that the betting picks will be out on my Instagram and Twitter for trucks and Xfinity all the time, about an hour, half an hour into an hour before the race. So you have to listen to the Hot Pass Podcast because the trucks and Xfinity are exclusive. And where do you get the podcast? You go to the YouTube Hot Pass Podcast. Like, share, subscribe to the podcast there. Hit the notification bell. Then slide over to Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your audio podcasts and go leave us a 5-star rate on there. And then hit the notification bell for all that shit. And then go to the Action Network. Link is in the bio. And that's where I post any of my Cup Series bets, early picks. So make sure to follow there and download the app. I'm not sponsoring anything, but download the app. And then you can, anytime I place a bet, you'll get a notification during the day. All right. Shout out to you guys. By the time this is out, I would assume the lines for the Cup Series are going to be out. So go to the Action Network and see any kind of early numbers I'm putting down. All right. Talk to you guys Friday. Going to get the YouTube out for this. Going to try and get the YouTube out later on this week for the Michigan recap so you guys can see the outfit I was wearing. Today we're wearing a Dale Jr. Bristol Hellman's Mayo t-shirt and a shitty-ass Dirty Denny Hamlin hat. So shouts out to bitch-ass Denny Hamlin. He might win it on Sunday. I'm not going to lie. So have a great week. We'll talk to you guys on Friday. Enjoy the Hot Pass podcast. See you. Peace.